Okay, we are here today again to talk about some cool stuff, right? All right. So, my name is Darcy LaRock. This is Terry Osty, and you are listening to Agent Tech Mastery podcast that revolutionizes real estate agents' businesses. I have almost 3 decades in IT, and Terry has almost 2 decades as being a real estate agent. And we are your guides for streamlining your operations, saving time, and boosting revenue. Discover cutting edge technologies and systems and apps and a mindset for a profitable and integrated business. If you want to, if you want to know how to get there, you're in the right place. All right, today's subject. You ready?
Drum roll.
Da, 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 da. Signatures. How boring.
Like email signatures, right?
Email signatures, yeah,
Email.
not your signatures. Email signatures, and actually signatures across different platforms as well, which people don't, I don't think, understand how signatures work. But number one, people understand email signatures. So in a podcast, it's a little bit harder to, because I would love to show you how this works, because it's bad. And but you can go to my website because I have a blog with images and short videos on how things look, agenttechmastery.com, and at the very top menu item, just go to blog, and there's top blogs there, and one is about signatures, and you can go there. All right, so this is what we know happens when you're a real estate agent is you get in and you're doing all your stuff and you've got your email set up, and then you go into the signature portion and you want to put a banner in there and maybe some social media icons, maybe your gorgeous photo you just got done, not one from 20 years ago.
And
I
all
need
your awards and all your
I,
award icons, right?
I need a sound thing like a wah, wah, wah. I should get that. And Terry, you know this too because you've seen it. But what happens that most people don't know is that when you are a sender, it always looks good to you, always. But you don't know how the other people receive it, right, Terry?
Exactly. I know where you're going with this. I'll let you unveil the catastrophic
I'll tell
mistake.
you one because the one that is in the blog that I did is a true. I'm just showing you screenshots of someone I was communicating with. And so, how it went was they emailed me, and in their email, it had their, I think it was Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and all these different icons that were images that had links to wherever. And then it was their image, and then their brokerage created a banner. And so, number one, nothing was a clickable text or anything. So some things if it had go to the website, it didn't even show. Like I'd have to type it in. Would I do that? Maybe, maybe not. But what ends up happening is when they sent it to me the first time, looks okay. I do a response and they reply back. What happens is all of those 5 things get attached. Okay. Then we respond back. Now there's 10 things attached. Then we respond back. Now there's 15 things attached. And then they email back and say, hey, I sent you that document or that PDF or whatever. Now I've got to look through 20 little attachments and try and figure out what is the one I'm supposed to open. Does anyone understand how frustrating that would be for a client? Yeah, Terry, it's a podcast. You can't raise your hand.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, it's in YouTube too.
But it's super frustrating because it happens to me all the time where, yeah, the body of the email talks about some sort of stuff, and I click on the attachment because I think it's something, and then the Facebook logo appears as
Right.
a JPEG or whatever it is.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Because you
Right?
just wasted time.
It's sort of crazy. Like, and as soon as it
Yes.
happens, I go, this person needs to talk to Darcy.
Yeah, they do.
They
Because
do.
people don't understand, and no one's ever going to say anything except me. I'm going to tell you the truth. Okay. Is that what happens when you, and there's also, here's the other side of it, is that if you Google signature apps, there's a ton of places that claim they will do these, what we call HTML signatures. But if you ask them, can they guarantee that it won't be stripped off and added as attachment? They'll say no. So is it better than manually doing it? Maybe slightly. But when we work with agents and we look at their signature, we want them to change it to be text. And I know you guys are going, oh, but that's not as pretty as my signature. No, it isn't, but it's better. Okay. So you can play around in a signature. You can play around with font to a degree because we want fonts that are consistent across the world. So if you send something, it's going to be in that same font. So if you pick some random weird font that might not work on their Outlook, it's useless, right? So we want common fonts, and then you can change the color, right? And then you can hyperlink. If you don't know what hyperlinking is, like if I sent an email to you, it would say Agent Tech Mastery, I'd highlight Agent Tech Mastery, and I would put my website link in there. So it's not an image, it's not an image of me, nothing. Okay. Now, what you also can do is use a card service or like Linktree or one of those. I use Ovu, where if you really want to put images, you can put them there because it's not attached to the email server that's sending out your email. Comments, Terry? Oh, yeah. Oh, we don't. Do we want to talk about?
Oh,
You want to combine signatures and business cards? Maybe. Yeah, let's talk about Ovu too. Ovu, I
yeah.
think that's how you say it. But let's get back to signatures and then we'll talk about the business card side of it as well. Comments on that, Terry?
No, you're yeah, 100% correct. You can be really creative with your signatures,
Yeah.
um, and have them look really, really good without all the attachments. And I know, like Darcy was saying, people love to put their pictures and all my awards and whatever else, my dog, whatever, you know. But it's not necessary. There's way better ways to do it. The hyperlinking, etc. It's pretty slick and one click away from taking your clients or whoever you're emailing to a landing page or a website or wherever you're directing them, right?
Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
I don't know if you want to talk about this or not, because sometimes we fool around with signatures in, let's say, should I say this? Google? No? I don't know.
Oh, well, yeah, it's too late.
I don't know if you
But
want to go
that's
there.
fine. No, I mean, when you have so what Terry's talking about, I think, is that so we understand what we're talking about here is that every email provider and every email client. So what I mean by that is an email provider might be GoDaddy. Don't use them, by the way. If you don't understand what I mean, book a call. Bluehost or one of those registrars, or it might be Microsoft, it might be Google, it might be Yahoo, it might be, I'm trying to think about AOL, Shaw, TELUS, Bell, Cox Network, Comcast, any of those providers. And then we also have something called email clients, which is something you log into to view your email, and that is also another place where you could create a signature. So you could create a signature on your phone. This is so confusing for people. This is why we help agents, because it's confusing. So you could have a signature on your phone. You could have a signature on your tablet. You could have a signature on your computer. You could have a signature on Outlook and MacMail or whatever email client you use. You could have multiple signatures. You could have a CRM that you send emails from that has a signature. And they should all be consistent, but I'm going to tell you every single time, and I've worked with thousands of agents now in almost 20 years working specifically with agents. I have never, ever, 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 ever seen anyone be consistent with their branding across all platforms they use. So now go, Terry.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
no,
wanted to
yeah,
explain that to everybody.
no, that's really good because, like you say, people using multiple devices, maybe multiple services, and they got all these signatures, and they all look different, and it's horrible. And if you ever did some of Brian Buffini's or some other coaches sessions, they talk about brand consistency over and over and over again as they beat it into your head. And so it's amazing how many people haven't done that or even considered taking a step back and looking at their overall branding, and signatures are part of that.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things I was going to talk about too, without getting too far off the signature thing, because when you say signatures, you're talking about, Curiosity, blah, 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 all my data, my hyperlinks and all kind of stuff. But that's just one way of using signatures, because you can take a signature block.
Oh my
Right?
gosh, you're gonna totally go outside. Yes, okay, I
Okay,
know
should
what
I
you're
shut
talking
up?
about now.
Am I
Okay.
giving away too much good
No,
information?
no, I think it's good info.
Okay, good. Because in the real estate business or in the industry, we do a lot of things over and over and over again. Because so can you imagine retyping your signature block for every single email that you did?
Right.
Pure insanity, right?
Pure
But
insanity.
so many other tasks that we do, you can actually use a signature block and create one of those tasks of information
Yeah.
and just attach that as a signature, and it'll populate your email with all the text.
Yeah. So I'm going to try and break it down because I'm not sure everyone understands what Terry's talking about.
Okay, good.
So on all different email platforms, and not everything is the same, but most of them have similar ways of doing this. All of them have a signature portion. All of them have templates or multiple signatures. So what Terry's talking about is, so give me an example of one that you use all the time.
Okay, so when I have a listing, I give the sellers some
Oh,
feedback on click-throughs, right? So we have realtor.ca clicks. We have
that's realtor.com for our Americans. Yep.
realtor.com, yeah. We have another program up here called rew.ca, which is another
Yep.
portal to view listings. Because I am a Matterport camera owner, I can actually get the viewings from my Matterport, the back end of my Matterport.
Oh, Terry's selling his old Matterport if anyone wants it.
Oh yeah, if anybody, I have Matterport Pro 3 now. The Pro 2 is available for the next entrepreneur or agent who wants to take control of some of their
Yeah,
marketing. It's a beautiful
exactly.
camera. It pays for itself in no
It's
time,
incredible. Yeah.
and it's a great show and tell piece. You take it to a listing presentation and it blows everybody's mind. But anyhow, that's my Matterport. But
Yeah.
and then I also have on the back end of Matrix, our real estate system is called Matrix. So we actually can see how many buyers are connected to the listing portal where they get the listing feeds from their buyer agent.
Mhm.
So I pre-formatted those 4 lines of text that says, here are the click-throughs on realtor.ca.
Yep.
And then my actual signature is in there as well. So when I
Perfect.
just do the data signature, it populates my email like instantly. Then I just fill in the blanks.
Perfect. So anytime you guys that you are doing anything more than one time and you're going to do it multiple times, you should create either another signature or there's kind of two ways to do the same thing, or what we call a template. Okay. And that's available inside your email that you use, should be available inside that email that you use. If you are using a free email service, there's a possibility that some of this stuff is not available. You should go back and watch our podcast from when did we do emails? Go on my website, agenttechmastery.com. The podcasts are listed there. And we talk all about email on one that says realtors free email addresses. Are they good or bad? Go
Yeah.
watch that. Okay.
But just with that one little tip,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
going to save you probably an hour or two a week. So value your time. Let's say your value says $200 an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
Just save you $400 every week,
Yeah. Right. I
right?
know. Well, that's, you know what? That's another thing that I'm going to add to our list of things to talk about is the value of an agent's time. Because every agent I've talked to has never figured out what they're worth. And it's important to do that. I've added that to another topic that we can talk about. So I think I'm just wondering if we should be talking about OVU. I think we should talk about OVU next time.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, I'm going to add that. We will do it next time, OVU,
Yeah.
and actually not just OVU, but business cards in general and what you can do with them. Okay,
Yeah.
but let's just continue on for a moment about signatures because that's so important. Okay, so be consistent in every place that has a signature. So your MLS system, when you're sending things out from that system, has a signature. DocuSign or AuthentiSign or I can't think of other document signing, e-signature, whatever signature platform you're using, SkySlope, whatever your brokerage uses. There's a signature attached to that. Your email has a signature attached to it. Your phone, depending on how you configured it, it might and it can pull the signature from your main account, or maybe there's no signature. Have you ever looked? Have you ever sent an email from your phone and then went back into the sent items to see what the signature looks like? Please go do it. And then do it on your tablet. Do it on your phone, do it on your tablet, do it on your computer. If you're a Mac mail user, an Outlook user, send an email, look at what the sent item looks like, what the signature looks like.
What about if you're texting and we want your signature on your text messages?
Oh, Terry, I planted you in the audience. It's funny. I was doing our weekly sessions today, and I was bugging you with that because I was texting Terry
Oh, is
showing.
that what that was?
That's why.
Yeah, I
So,
didn't figure, but anyhow.
so the other thing too is when you text, you should be adding a signature. And Android does a better job of this than Apple, but Apple can still do it. And what you can do, and both Android and Apple, you can create a template again of common things that you say, like your signature, like I was showing today, where are you? WRU, because I'm constantly trying to find Terry in stores. He's sitting there. I'm usually shopping, but I just type WRU because I say it all the time and I want to type out lazy, but it saves me time. So I also have a shortcut of we live in a new development nobody could ever find. So what was I doing in the beginning? Turn left, go down this road, turn left, turn right, and blah blah, turn left, turn right, whatever. But now I did it as a autocomplete, like a signature, where I just type a couple words and it populates. So Terry, we set yours up a while ago so that every single text, because a lot of agents text each other, you just type 2 letters and then it populates your name, your first name, last name, brokerage address, all the things that you're supposed to have in there. And I
Whatever you
can't
want to
remember
put in
what
there.
else.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything's in the signature. Now imagine, because if you're doing this by yourself every time, typing out all the stuff that should be in a text signature, you are wasting an enormous amount of time, right? Enormous. And I know, Terry, we've done this for you. I don't know, years and years and years and years. We set that up for you many, many years ago. But it's incredible, right?
Yeah. You know what happened? I'll tell a quick story.
Yeah.
I get a little sidetracked because these are in the BlackBerry days. Does everybody remember BlackBerries?
Well, I sure do. I miss them.
And I would phone in for my voicemails, and it has nothing to do with the signatures, but this is just automation and thinking, being more efficient. And I would phone my voicemails, and I go one, and then one, and then you grab my phone from me,
One
and
day
you
I
did
did.
you did your thing, and he said, "Okay, phone your voicemails now." So I phoned it, and it played them
Yeah.
without me.
Well, so I really am about automating everything that we can possibly automate. And all that was, and that was a while ago. So things have changed. You don't really have to do that anymore. But back in the day, when you called a voicemail, you had to input your number and you had to do a bunch. It's way better now. You don't have to do that, but we could automate it just in the calling feature and say, add the numbers in for him and then go direct to the voicemail to listen to the voicemail. So it's pretty cool.
That's
And there's
cool.
many ways to automate things. So what I would suggest you guys is to create a signature in your email, and you got to follow your own rules. Every region's different. So your first name, your last name, and then most people have to have the brokerage, I'm guessing. I don't know if you always have to have the address. Your rules and regulations, but the address, your phone number, and you can hyperlink your phone number. This is another thing I see a lot with people who don't really understand this stuff, is that let's say you email me and you put your phone number there. I have to copy and paste that if I know how. And I want you to think about pretend people know nothing and then make it easy for them. Because maybe they know how to copy and paste the email, then go to the phone, then go to the call, then paste it. They probably don't know how to do that. what you do is you hyperlink the phone number so that when I get the email on my mobile, I just tap on the phone number and I can call you. Like make it way easier. Okay. Incredible time savings. And then of course you're going to hyperlink your website. If you don't have a website, please stay tuned. We'll be talking about that in one of the upcoming episodes of this, because that's a domain name and you really need one. Maybe you don't need, especially if you're a new agent, you don't need to pay for a website if your brokerage has a profile of you. It's a lot more complicated than that, but we talk about that in another episode. Questions, Terry? Comments?
I think we're pretty good. It's just I think this all arose because you see it all the time. I see it all the time. You get these complicated signatures in these emails, and then they show up as attachments, and it's just so frustrating and annoying, right? And
yeah. And here's the thing that also drives me a little bit bonkers is that I worked with a brokerage and they had paid a graphic artist to make everybody email signatures. And like, okay, that's interesting. And they said, I'm going to show you when they're done. I'm like, okay. What was it? It was just, oh, it just bugs me. And it's not the graphic artist's fault because they're doing what you asked. So here's a gorgeous business card that is a image that has your name and your phone number and your website. And then you're like, oh, that looks so nice. I'm going to import it in. I'm going to put it in my signature. It's not a clickable link.
Just a JPEG hanging there.
It's just an image that's probably going to get stripped off and added. But even if it didn't, I can't phone from there. I can't click on it to go to your website. You're going to make me work to contact you if I want to call you or phone you or look at your website. Don't make me work. Do not use banners and images in your website. That's the biggest thing takeaway today. And be consistent in everything that you use, right? And have the same signature. Now, this is really important. Here's another thing that about signatures that I think Terry's going to go, oh, yeah, because we just start thinking about this is that let's say you are with a brokerage and you're using your name at thebrokerage.com. Okay. And you have your cell number, but you're directing it to their profile page on their website. Okay. And then you're listening to this and you're like, oh, I'm going to change all my 20 spots and put the right signature. Then in a year, you decide to leave that brokerage. Guess what? You have to now go to every spot and try to remember everywhere and change it. Own your data. Use your email address, your domain, your phone number. And I don't, if you've heard nothing, because I probably talk about this every single time I'm talking at conferences to agents, own your data. Yes, Terry?
Correct. All I gotta say.
Correct. All right, I think we've killed the signature part, and then we've got lots to talk about next time. I know we got a little sneak peek of the card Terry showed. We'll talk about that next time. We're going to talk about using business cards and digital business cards and goods and bad of both, and thoughts and comments. We always love to hear your thoughts and comments as well. So if you are stuck and your business is piecemealed together, let's get you where you want to go. If you want our help to do that, book a call with me at Agent Tech Mastery at agenttechmastery.com/apply pod. It's absolutely free and possibly the best call you have ever had to change your business. Again, agenttechmastery.com/apply pod. All right, that is it for our 5th episode. Pretty exciting, Terry.
A lot of information shared.
I know. And have a great day, everyone, and we'll catch you on the next podcast. Bye.